Hey guys, this is Joshua with Team Lexus here in Austin, Texas. Today we're going to do a cooling fan assembly replacement on a 2005 ES330. Let's get started. So the tools you'll need for this project is a 10 mil socket with a socket set, a pry bar, and preferably a shop jack. I put my jack right at that cross member. And then jack it up. You only need enough clearance to get up underneath this radiator. So the setup on this car with the cooling fan assembly is probably the same as the Camry around this year, 05, this generation, and maybe younger generation, older generation, and probably other Lexus models. I'll start by taking this bolt out and this one underneath this flap and pull this loose, and then I'll lift this plastic up and take this bolt loose right here. Once I have this back and loosen the radiator, the top radiator hose, and pull that back, then I can unbolt the cooling fan assembly and pull it out just like that. It's really quick and easy. This is the simplified way of doing it. I'm ending up using a 5/16 socket for this hose clamp on this top radiator hose, but I could also use a flathead. It kind of depends on whatever your hose clamp has. After I have my radiator hose loose and this air breather loose here, then I will undo the wire harnesses. You have two wire harnesses. You have one wire harness on this motor, one wire harness on this motor. You have this wire harness here, this one here, and then you have one attached to your temperature switch right down here on the bottom right of your radiator. For your fan shroud, there will be tabs on the very bottom down here that you will lift this assembly up out of. And when you go to replace it, you'll want to put them ears on whatever assembly you're putting back in those slots. These are your tabs here, one on this side and one on the other side over there that you'll need to lift this up out of like that. And when you go to put it back in, you'll want to make sure that these ears are back in those slots on both sides. So now we're ready to take the cooling system assembly out. You'll pull it off of the ears at the very bottom and lift this side up slightly. The reason for the pry bar is because of the radiator neck right here. You don't want to damage that. You don't want to put a hole in your radiator. So what I do is I just use the pry bar to pry the assembly up and lift it over the neck. The easiest way I found to take this out is to lift the right side of it, the driver's side, out first, and then take it out like this. So now we're ready to replace or put back in our cooling fan assembly, and you'll just pretty much reverse the order back in from the beginning. So now that we got the new assembly back in, now we'll want to make sure that we got our ears back into these slots down here on the bottom. We'll just put our 3 bolts back on, put our radiator hose back on, bolt this down, bolt that back to the top, and put our wire harnesses together. Hey guys, so we got the assembly back in, the cooling fan assembly. Um, Everything should be good with it. If it's not kicking on, check your relays, check your air temp switch. There's two switches on it that tell the computer to kick on your fan. Um, we're ready to go with it, and we're about to go test drive it. See you next time, guys. Bye.